Welcome to this presentation on conscious machines as moral entities, ethical and theological perspectives. Today, we will look at the question of whether conscious machines, or AI, can or should be thought of as moral agents, and what this can mean in the fields of ethics and theology, with particular focus on the subject of Imago Dei. This concept, meaning that human beings are created in the image of God, will be adopted as a theoretical lens through which the nature and possibility of AI will be understood. In what ways could artificial intelligence, being created by human beings, relate to or contradict humanism? Can AI possess moral agency? Does AI give a new meaning to self-awareness? How does AI impact our relationship with God and with each other? The cutting edge of modern science and technology has moved in its aim beyond the relief of man's state toward directions that endanger the very existence of humanity. One goal of AI is to create another in our own image, something similar to humans, but that image will necessarily be partial, lacking the full range of human qualities. As Hirschfeld notes, unlike God, man makes machines to work for him, a departure from the actual reason of being created in the image of God. The world cannot be experienced in completely similar ways by conscious machines as by biological organisms, and hence their limits, perceptions, and agenda cannot be human. According to Hirschfeld, there is remarkable convergence between 20th century interpretations of the image of God, Imago Dei, and approaches toward creating in our own image in the field of artificial intelligence. These approaches view the intersection between God and humanity, or humanity and computers, by focusing on characteristics like intelligence or functions we perform, which make them very limited and one-sided, since they lacked the aspect of spirituality. What makes humans unique is that they are being made in God's image. As O'Donnell argues, Christians have tended to revert to a default Platonic setting when thinking about body and soul. They are not always good at remembering the holistic and monistic perspective that characterizes the biblical texts. Furthermore, the rise of artificial intelligence draws out the multitude of ambiguities in the ways that many Christians have defined terms like consciousness and soul. Humans, like Logos, are unique moral entities combining earthly and spiritual properties. As such, they bear moral responsibilities, referring to both their spiritual and material aspects. In this life, apart from piety towards God and morality towards humans, we, humans, have also the responsibility to administer our own planet and preserve life. People, as creators of AI, are compared to God as a creator because they both introduced a new creation into the world. However, Hirschfeld warns that there lies a further danger of which we must be aware. To replace relationship with God and with each other with relationship with our own artifacts is idolatry. Indeed, this is the danger, to worship and rely on AI more than on God or on other people. Michael Chinchoy adds that we generally say that the computer can process the data, but such computation is merely relative to the programmer who imposes a computational interpretation on the phenomenon. we can refer to a chef as an artist. The artist is preparing a lovely dish, which is his creation. It's the chef who chooses what ingredients to use and how to prepare and serve them. Likewise, AI is controlled and can only do what is programmed to do by the programmer or the one that sets the rules of the game. Karl Barth has defined the image of God not in terms of what man is or does, but in the notion of the human being as counterpart to God. This relationship takes two forms: faith and spirituality, in the aspect of the human-God relationship, and empathy and love for other people in the human-to-human relationship. For Barth, humanity as a counter must become the event of speech, requiring true mutual understanding and dialogue as means of connection with others. The question that comes in mind now is how this intelligence, which is man-made, can represent this magnificent image of Deus. In ethics, intentionality has an important role. The capacity to choose and function with distinct intent is the prerogative of mankind and not machines. Hence, the emotions that precede moral judgments are unique, an attribute that prevents their imitation. According to Picard, so right now, the state of the art is that we don't know how to build feelings, subjective feelings. Moreover, moral feelings, feelings of right or wrong, are sometimes ineffable. The notion of free will, the soul, the spirit, the life-giving juice are things we really haven't a clue how to build. What if humans design AI with equal intelligence to us or superior to us? Are we, as the creators, responsible for their actions? As Rubin argues, nothing in evolutionary theory suggests that we have an obligation to commit suicide by the creation and evolution of AI. Nothing says that we cannot continue to modify our environment for as long as we can to make it more conducive to our existence. Nevertheless, we must also refine and enlarge our understanding of what constitutes human progress. Will machines do the same? According to Moravec, our speculation ends in a supercivilization, the synthesis of all solar system life constantly improving and extending itself, spreading outward from the sun, converting non-life into mind. Kurzweil adds that evolution moves toward greater complexity, greater elegance, greater knowledge, greater intelligence, greater beauty, greater creativity, greater love. And God has been called all these things, only without any limitations. Finally, we address a provocative question. Should people be considered to be gods because they created AI in their own likeness? Of course, some theologians do not hesitate for a moment to say that human intelligence, wonderful as it is, does not grant us the divine status that belongs to God alone. Creation of artificial intelligence by humans is an act of crafting from materials which human beings have found and shaped, not an act of creation out of nothing, ex nihilo. We must respect the ethical and theological boundaries that distinguish human creativity from divine creation. Herzfeld cautions that computers will continue to advance in their capacities for human-like intelligence. At the same time, we will program them to seem more like us, both to make them easier to use and out of our urge to create in our own image, but we must be cautious. In the end, computers can only provide a simulation of human being, just as an idol is only a simulation of a god. In conclusion, AI pushes us to rethink traditional ideas about ethics, morality, and even what it means to be human. But the Imago Dei remains a distinct theological category tied to human uniqueness. AI may possess intelligence, but it does not share the spiritual and moral characteristics conferred by being made in God's image. The comparison of human action to that of divine construction is helpful, but it constitutes a warning that humans become gods in the process. People are not gods, and AI is a device, not something divine. Further, as Rubin concludes, the extinctionist vision of the future is a dangerous delusion, promising things that will not be available to beings who will not be there to enjoy them. We must work to preserve human dignity while pursuing technological advancement, recognizing that if we want to follow God's creative example, perhaps we too should aim to fashion things with the ability to relate and love, and not just to receive commands. This concludes the presentation. The sources cited in this discussion include works by Marius Dorobantou, Charles Rubin, Noreen Hertzfeld, and Michael Zimmerman, among others. These texts provide key insights into the ethical and theological dimensions of AI and its relationship to the Imago Dei. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.